Hello children, welcome back to geography class. So in our previous video we discussed regarding the symbols that are used on a topographical map. Okay, so we have seen the symbols like the river streams, okay, the wells or the different border lines, okay, and also the symbol of different buildings like church, mosque, temple, okay, and also the symbols like the grasslands, okay. Hope you have gone through it. So in today's class we'll be discussing regarding the settlement on topographical sheets, okay. So I have told you in the previous class, this red square box, okay, are considered as what? The settlements, okay. So how are the settlements can be identified on a topographical map? Okay, so that we'll be discussing it. Settlements are groups of houses, usually in villages or towns, where people live. Okay, so settlements are the group of houses that are used by the men to live. Okay, so group of houses, either it is in the town or in the village. The size of settlements depends on the availability of roads, railways, hospitals, police stations, administrative buildings, rest houses, and so on. Okay, so the number of settlements depends on all these factors. Settlements grow over a period of time. Okay, when the place starts improving and has the necessary needs, okay, for a person to live in that particular place, so the settlements also will be growing. The location and type of settlements are determined by various factors such as terrain, presence of water, suitable climate conditions, presence of employment opportunities, and so on. Okay, so these are the factors that determine the type of settlements. Okay, some settlements are permanent and some are temporary. So this you can see it on a topographical map. Okay, so we have permanent settlement and we have also the temporary settlements. Settlements that are built and occupied for a shorter period of time are called as temporary settlements. Okay, so what are temporary settlements? The settlements that are occupied for a shorter period of time. Okay, in permanent settlements people build permanent houses, and in course of time a settlement develops. Okay, so under the permanent settlements people construct their own house and they settle permanently in that particular place. Next is regarding the occupations. So occupations of people can be inferred directly from a topographical map. So we can identify the occupations of a person by using that particular map. Okay, so with the help of the topographical map we can able to identify the people's occupation, the type of settlements in the region, as well as the way in which the local people use the land can give you an idea in this regard. Okay, so the type of settlements in the region as well as in the way in which the local people use the land can be taken as a clue to identify what type of occupation the people are following in that particular settlement. Okay, some of the common ways by which the local inhabitants use the land is used for agriculture. Okay, if large tracts of land indicate cultivation of crops, then most of the people are farmers or cultivators. So how will you find out on the topographical map? Okay, so here you can see the yellow color. Okay, so the yellow color land. Okay, so this shows that the people are engaged in cultivation. Okay, people engaged in agriculture. Okay, the next one is mining. If there are indications of mines and quarries, okay, especially marble and stone quarries, then the mining or working in quarries can be inferred as their main occupation. Mining will be their main occupation. Okay, and there are also the other occupations like fishing. So how will you identify this particular settlement is having the occupation of fishing. So this is if the settlement is near a large river or in the sea coast, fishing will be obviously their main occupation. Okay, the next one is manufacturing. If the large settlements such as towns will indicate the presence of factories, and hence manufacturing will be the main occupation. Okay, if there is any symbol regarding the manufacture, so the people also will be engaged in manufacturing, so that will be their main occupation. The next one is trading. The large settlement with many cart tracks, roads and railway lines converging will indicate that the town is a market town with an access to trade and commerce. Okay, so you can see on the topographical map. Okay, so if you see here, the different types of roads, you can see this is a metal road and then you have many number of car tracks. Okay, so there are even the black line, so this also indicates the roads. Okay, so this indicates that the particular settlement is having the trading. Okay, so they have the market. Okay, so where the particular settlement is engaged in trade and commerce. Okay, so this is how you will take the help of the topographical sheet to identify the occupation and the settlement. Next, we'll see the transport and communication. When you look at a topographical map, you will notice many different red lines of varying width running across it. Okay, just now I have showed you. So there are also some black lines that go across the map. So all these lines are the symbol of roadways and the railway tracks. So these lines indicate the type of communication present in the area, the type of transport that they have. Okay, they also reflect the various modes of transport that are being used in the area. Okay, so various modes of transport, whether they are having the metal road, whether they are having the unmetal road, whether they are having the railway tracks. Okay, whether they have the transport facility through the railways. Okay, so this will be helpful to identify the modes of transport. The next one is land use. The land use refers to the way a piece of land is used in the area. Okay, so whether the land is used for the agriculture purpose, whether it is used for the industrial purpose, and so on. The relief of the land determines the type of activity that takes place on the land. Okay, the relief of the land, whether the land is a plain or a flat land, whether the land is a hilly region, whether it is a steep slope or whether it is a gentle slope. Okay, so that is called as relief of the land. So that determines the type of activity that can be taken place on the land. In highlands such as hills, mountains and the plateaus, where the slope of the land is generally steep. Okay, so generally it will be a steep. Where the slope of the land is generally steep, the land is used for grazing sheep and goats. Okay, so that particular land will be used for the grazing of sheep and goats. Okay, most of the land is covered by forest, which facilitates economic activities such as forest harvesting and lumbering. Okay, lumbering means it is pile up. Okay, so collecting the forest resources. Okay, so like taking the medicinal herbs from the forest area, taking the woods for the furniture making and so on. Okay, terrace farming is also undertaken on hilly slopes to grow crops. Okay, terrace farming also can be seen in the hilly slopes to grow the crops like tea, coffee, rubber estates, barley, rice. So these are common crops that are grown on the hilly slopes. Various agricultural activities take place on lowlands since cultivation of crops is easier on a flat surface than on a sloping surface. Okay, so most of the agricultural activities like growing variety of crops like barley, wheat or any type of species, so those will be grown okay, comfortably on the flat surface rather than the hilly slopes, okay, since it is very comfortable and easier. Okay, so all this can be identified on a topographical sheet. Okay, so that is how topographical map is very helpful to know about a particular region in detail. Okay, hope you understood. If ever you have any doubt, you can ask me. So we have completed the chapter. Okay, complete your classwork. I have already sent you. If you have any further queries, you can ask me. Okay.